Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Madmen with a Box live for the 174th time. Yes. Hi, I'm Pixel. You should know that by now. Over there's Chris.
I don't know who you are.
Crap. Joe, do you remember me?
Oh, I don't really pay attention.
We're here today.
They just let anyone on this show.
We do.
I just get the link and I click it.
Only that works with people. You can just celebrity.
If only that could work with a certain host that hasn't been here in a while.
He hasn't asked for the link, so it's okay. It be like that. Hello, and Gevain has joined us as well. You might be wondering, with a topic last week, like the 5 best episodes for first-time watchers, what could the next topic possibly be? Well, it's the 5 worst episodes. Typically, we start our show with some news, but seeing as we are in a news drought, hello, Landry, we have nothing. We have no news. No news.
Yeah. All that I know is that
there was an auction going on.
For Big Finish, Ninth Doctor, they're going back to the Powell estate.
Again.
It's not like they were there for 3 stories straight.
Yeah.
All of time and space, everyone. All of time and space.
What just happened?
One location.
He'll be back.
You have a 9.6 Heathcliff comic.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to Pixel?
He couldn't handle the Heathcliff comic. That's rad.
Thank you.
Star 8? Is that Star Publishing?
Yeah. Yep, Star Comics.
Okay. That's rad.
Okay.
There he is.
I can hear you.
I was a Heathcliff junkie as a kid.
All my sound.
Yeah, I love Heathcliff.
Yep, ditto.
All righty.
He was more street than Garfield.
Yeah, no, I mean, Garfield was lazy. Garfield did nothing. Heathcliff was out there doing stuff, getting it done.
Yeah, but was he voiced by Bill Murray, though?
I think we're pivoting.
Did someone did no one trick a famous actor into voicing him for 2 films?
We are talking about the top 5 Heathcliff stories at this
Yes. But yes, we are here today to talk about the 5 worst episodes for first-time watchers. The kind of episodes that you would believe would turn people away, send them running for the hills, because the hills are alive with the sound of not Doctor Who.
They sure are.
But let's go ahead. Let's get this party started with Joe of the Corallos.
Okay, I'll go through a few. I mean, I feel like we are probably going to overlap more on this one than the previous. But I will start with the one that I do know one person that successfully got into Doctor Who this way, but I don't think I could ever recommend it. And that is start from the beginning and go in order. Starting with an unearthly child and go and off to the races. I know. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to watch the Dalek Master Plan.
Oh my god, I'm so excited to watch a telesnap reconstruction of Marco Polo.
Let me just get the vinyl of the Celestial Toy Maker before they release the animated one.
Right? So yeah, for very obvious reasons, I just think you're asking for trouble. You're asking for someone to have like a built-in excuse to not continue instead of being like, here's a really good one. It's like, no, like you should approach Doctor Who more like a comic book series and less like, you know, a show that it's like, oh, start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start out the game with that one. Choice number 2, Time Flight. That would be a horrible story to show someone as their first story.
Straight after a companion death, and you have the Master with some very questionable disguises.
Like that, and then Nyssa just like, yeah, it's just him and Nyssa because Tegan's just like, what? Like, so many things happen in that story that would just be baffling to someone, and it's not like a great story, so you have like all of this. Like, I personally don't dislike Time Flight as much as other people, but oh my god, is that an awful story to suggest to someone as their entry point into Doctor Who. My third choice here, which again I feel like it's cheating because of course it's a horrible choice. The Twin Dilemma is I'm going to talk very little. Can I assume someone else picked the Twin Dilemma as well? Okay,
yes, sir.
I will move on to another one then to allow other people to talk about it.
I will say before you continue, this reminded me. I saw there was a post a couple of days ago. Someone put up and it's very true of Doctor Who. They said the worst thing about Doctor Who is the fact that since it doesn't follow a linear storyline, you could go from one of the best story ideas that has ever graced television to absolute slop in the span of one episode. And nothing encapsulates that. And I even said it, then going from the Caves of Androzani to the Twin Dilemma.
Yeah. Solid point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You know, so I will go. So for my next one, so for number 4, I think I was gonna go with the Christmas Invasion. It's while it is David Tennant's like first full story, I think it's too tied. Like it's too tied to what was just happening and like. And on this like relationship he has with this person that we don't know, like if that's your first, like you don't quite understand.
There's a lot of context that's missing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like 11th Hour where it's kind of treated as like a quote unquote like fresh start.
Yeah.
Where you don't really get holdovers from Tennant's era aside from just the outfit and like that's it. You just get thrown in. I can see, Christmas Invasion would be if you're watching that's your first episode, it's like there's something here I'm missing. Maybe I should have watched the first series instead of going into series 2.
It's like either pick like later into Tennant. Like I think after series 2, like something from series 3 or 4. If you're going for like a good Tennant story, or you want to start from the beginning,
The Runaway Bride, which I mentioned last week.
Runaway Bride's a great story. Like and Christmas Invasion again, we reviewed it. We all gave it a pretty solid score. It's a good story. I just wouldn't do that as my introduction, and I needed to give a story like that and a story like Twin Dilemma to be like, this is a bad story and a bad entry point. This is a good story, bad entry point, and one that I think rides the line a little more. And again, I think other people are going to mention this because how could you not? Was the 60th anniversary specials like that? Season we could just start. You could say Star Beast. In terms of the first one, because and the reason this really needs to be highlighted in particular is it was billed as an entry point for people to come in, like, oh, you've got Disney Plus, like, here you go. We're offering a new subscription base, potentially a new viewership, their first chance to get Doctor Who, and potentially, and it didn't work in the way they wanted it to, in part because, again, like, if someone was like, oh, I've heard of this Doctor Who, I ain't watched the first run, I'll give this a shot. It's heavily nostalgia based and jumps right into a lot of, it's not a good entry point, and proved to be not a good entry point in recent history. So I think that's also worth, because
what do you mean they had the terrible green screen intro to recap everything? What do you mean? They told me enough information from that terrible green screen intro that wasn't directed by the actual director of the episode. What are you talking about? I think that's more than enough.
Once upon a time, Lord.
But yeah, there's much else to discuss. I'd love to hear what everyone else has to say, so I'll leave it there.
All right, Landry of the Quinn Walkers. I imagine.
So for one bit of clarity here, I gotta express. I discovered the topic about 45 seconds before I jumped into the podcast, because I wasn't here at the end of the last podcast, and I checked for the link. I thought, well, I guess I'm going to find out what we're reviewing. Okay. That said, this isn't a hard list to come up with, because
no.
And here's the interesting thing: you could actually take great episodes that work great for us as fans contextually, and give them to somebody with no context, and they're not going to sell them on the show. They're a bad introduction to the show. It's part of what I thought was so interesting about when we did this last week, and what's interesting about it now is, in a lot of ways, you're crafting a narrative for a new viewer. That's why the 5 episodes I chose last time, and I think I saw this with a lot of our choices, was giving you, kind of building you a narrative of who the Doctor is, like starting you at the right place, and get not just this is a good episode, but this is a good episode for you to start with. But this is a good episode for your 5th episode. So last time I chose Heaven Sent as my number 5, the end of 5 episodes for, but I could just as easily put somebody, go, here's your first episode of Doctor Who, it's Heaven Sent, and I'm not giving you any context, and have them go, yeah, I had no emotional connection with that at all, and while it looked like it was well acted and all that, I don't know why I should care about it. If you have no context for the show and you go watch this, you go, okay, I saw that, but one of the reasons it works and it's impactful to see the Doctor go through all this is we know who he is. That said, I didn't actually put it on my list because there are much worse choices. I tried to keep a contiguous kind of narrative here at the same time of the bad version. Start with Castro Valva, which, to somebody who has never seen Doctor Who and has no idea what Doctor Who is, and here's your first episode, here's a guy who used to be another guy, and he's upset that he's no longer the other guy, and everyone's weird about it. Go to a planet of math and stay on is a resort. What's happening? Like, I mean, now there's a guy, some kid trapped in a spiky thing by Mr. Mustache. I don't understand why I should care about this. It's weird. It's slow. I actually really like the episode as an invested Doctor Who fan. But without that, it's like, okay, now let's watch these 2 ladies carry a coffin with the guy who was another guy in it for a while. It's not gripping material. My second choice, Time Flight. Go figure. Yep. My third choice, Twin Dilemma. And I appreciate that you said I'll let somebody else talk about it, but I can't because it hurts so much. That episode just brings so much. Pixel, you look sad about this.
Well, no, I also can't talk that much about the Twin Dilemma, because even though it is on my list, it is an episode that I don't think about
No.
I've watched it, unfortunately, but I've pushed it so far that I remember the vagueness of it.
So
I am blessed in that way.
I'm just thinking, if I really want somebody to not care about Doctor Who, in a way, just jump from first Doctor episode to first Doctor episode to a degree. It's like, I can't even get into this because every time I start to, you show me he's somebody else now without any emotional impact for why he went away. And so I did put in Time Flight there because it's so bad. But then I admit I had a little bit of trouble coming up with a solution. But I did go with the Rosa Parks episode of the 13th.
Oh, God.
Hey, come on now.
I started doing that too.
No.
Look, I mean, it's very hard for me to get past the idea that the Doctor, as a white lady, is the one going, you should get on this bus. Like,
it's historically accurate.
Stay in those seats. Don't move. I don't want to be a part of this.
No, I think I should just.
It's also worse that they have that one of the companions has to pretend to be racist in order for it to work. Don't make me do this, dog.
You have to.
Remember a character who had a black wife.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's even worse. Oh.
I was torn. I ended up with a tie. Again, I had like a minute and a half to think about this. Between Space Babies.
Yeah.
I mean, again, in the idea of putting this to somebody who's this is one of your introductions to Doctor Who. I mean, I feel like I don't think I would get somebody this far. I don't think I'd get them past Time Flight on this list. I was torn between Space Babies and the 15th Doctor's finale.
The Reality War?
Yeah, which is just like, I think we all could find some enjoyment in it as a people who do week after week of Doctor Who podcasts. But if you're asking somebody who's never doesn't even know this, this is their 5th episode, like, why do I care? So I went with those. That's my grouping of episodes. A little off the 5 number, but that's where I landed.
Yeah. Gevain.
Yeah, there's going to be some overlap here, but so I'll start with 15 because I think, it kind of like piggybacking Landry's point. Some of this stuff you need context for it, and then some of this stuff it's just like it's just too much going on. In some cases, it's bad. The Reality War is almost too easy because there is so much. It is like basically the climax of everything that's going on, essentially for the last 2 years. But yeah, what made my list was Space Babies. Yeah, it's like to introduce the new Doctor 15, and if you're trying, and literally you're trying to get new people to come on board. That episode just didn't do it. It wasn't interesting. The babies, while cute, just don't draw you in as characters. It doesn't tell you the episode doesn't do anything to tell you about 15 and I don't remember the girl's name. Sunday.
Ruby Sunday.
Ruby Sunday. Yeah, Ruby Sunday. It just does nothing. And then following the 60th anniversary specials, to Joe's point, where it was more like, hey, kids, here's this new character called the Doctor, is more like, hey, old guys, forgive us. Don't come on back in. So you have basically 4 episodes that do a piss poor job of basically, if you were trying to introduce Doctor Who to someone new, it doesn't work. I'm gonna have to punch 13 in the face here with the Timeless Children, because this is probably the worst episode if you want to introduce someone to Doctor Who, because it takes all the damn mystery out of the character, all of it, and it ruins it. It is in a sense an origin story, if you will, but it just undercuts and undermines the mystique of the character in such a way I don't think someone would come back to it. Not because it's like, oh, it's woke, they turn into a black woman and all that. No, it's just that a lot of what makes Doctor Who is the fact that we don't know everything about him, and this fundamentally undercuts that. I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path with this one. That's the Lazarus experiment. Just to take a little bit a shot at 10. I think a lot of the critiques that get levied at Rose, which is basically the bad special effects, I think go triple for this episode if you're trying to choose somebody new.
Jimmy would be proud of you right now.
Yeah, Scorpion King version of Margatus. No. And you have Martha's family, who they're just weak. It's like it's like they show up, but they don't do anything necessarily to drive the story forward. You don't necessarily look forward to seeing them again. Like her mother shows up, I think, a couple of times after that, and it's just a family you just don't really care about. And then when you have the Pawns who come after that, it's just much more interesting. But I just think it's such a throwaway episode that if you were trying to introduce someone to Doctor Who, like giving them like, you know, sort of like a palate cleanser episode, this one just it just fails on many levels. And so now I'm gonna have to do. Let me see. I'm going to do 2 honorable mentions before I give my last 2. So honorable mention to Orphan 55, just because since everyone else hates it, I would assume that somebody first watching Doctor Who would hate it too. And then Tom and Arani, which I think explains itself.
That was so close to being on my list.
I know. That's why I say it's honorable mention. It's like, because again, I think it requires, in a weird way, it requires a little bit too much context to get into it. I mean, on one level, you could see maybe an absurdist performance in terms of the Ronnie pretending to be Mel, but I think it focuses on everything except trying to introduce you to who this new Doctor is. And I think that's why Tom and Arani fails. It's more, it feels like it's more the continuation of something else as opposed to the introduction of something new. But and this is where me and Pixel probably start the fight. Yeah, Twin Dilemma. Twin Dilemma, for much the same reason is I think other people have not said, have alluded or hinted at, it's just not a likable Doctor. It's probably the worst introduction of a Doctor, especially when you look at Kazan Jazani, where it's like, oh, it's like a very cool regeneration at the end. But basically, when the main hero tries to choke out at least a couple of people throughout the episode. Yeah, it's just like, bro, what are you trying to sell me here? I'm still getting used to this, like, you know, psychedelic outfit, and what is he? He's just a murderer, you know. It's like, you know, and he's got a fetish on top of that. Just likes to choke people out. So yeah, Twin Dilemma is probably, and I think it does the Sixth Doctor ultimately a disservice, because it feels like the writers are still trying to figure. I think in their attempt to do something so different and new, they just fail to make a character who's likable and relatable. And it really, for me, it isn't until the Big Finish stuff that you really kind of get what they were trying to do with 6. And then, so in the sense of like, it's a good episode if you look at it one way, but it's a bad episode to introduce a first time or two. And unfortunately, 6 again is the victim here. It is Trial of the Time Lord. It's the ultimate clip show. It's like, it's literally the ultimate clip show. Now it has one of the best FX sequences in Doctor Who that even now you would be like, oh, how did they do that, you know, from here? But in terms of the very idea of it is probably can be alienating to a first-time viewer because it requires a lot of context. It's literally, you would have to watch all of the episodes before this to understand what they're doing, and it is literally a clip show. And I don't think it's a clip show in a way that when you watch a clip show goes, let me go back and watch that, all those, go back and watch this series. It's just like, this is a entire series of clips, of clips. So those are my 5 with 2 honorable mentions.
No, because a clip show by definition is going to go ahead and have, it's going to have old clips that are showing to go ahead and catch you up. But these are new episodes that are spliced with court scenes around them to act as evidence.
But you know that because a new viewer would just think they're clips.
But they
When a new
explain it in
viewer-
the episode. In the episode,
Clip
they say we're going to
shows,
bring
clip
this up
shows
so that way
feature
we can
greatest hits. Does not-
It's not the greatest hits because it's
Here's-
literally nothing from the past.
Here's what I think some people are trying to get here, Pixel, is that it undercuts what's happening because it's from the past. Like they're showing things that I know technically there's like, oh, this one's a future example, but like there's still stories that are complete, so it cuts the tension because it's like we
they're
know
in universe flashbacks.
Yeah.
In universe, they're flashbacks. They're
They try to do the bit with Perry to like.
But see, it's also like you said though, it's the full stories. It's not clips to the point. Like, where's the rest of the episode?
True.
No,
The
but
full
it does
episodes
undercut
are
the
all
tension.
there.
It does undercut the tension. Is it for a new viewer? Is like, well, I know these guys are going to be fine because they're in court later.
Well, technically, then they do go ahead and bring a companion from his future he hasn't met yet, and they do explain that in story. And
but then like
so-
it like narratively it ends up not mattering because Mel's just the companion after that, and it's kind of like,
I know.
what?
I know.
Why?
I can't help that. I can't help that. That's not my fault.
All right. Who's next?
Listen. I have the Twin Dilemma on my list as well because it is a god awful episode. The first introduction of the Doctor is to go ahead have him choke out his companion. Doesn't help that.
Just saying.
Doesn't help that she's such a lovely young woman that you're not going to want to see her dead right off.
Jesus.
That's on my list. I also have the Time in the Rani because the Time in the Rani is just, it's another introduction of a Doctor. It's just so terrible.
So bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Look, I'm Mel now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally so bad. But that's the only classic Who that I actually have on my list. All the other ones are new Who. Now Landry's going to fight me because I put Love and Monsters.
Oh,
I just put my brick away finally.
Love and Monsters.
I literally finally took it out of my office yesterday. After
Shouldn't have done it.
2 years?
Man, y'all broke up after 2 years? I thought you had a bit of a love life. Horrible thing. Like, for somebody to sit through that, even if they kind of like Elton at the beginning, you get to a certain point where it's just his existence is annoying. The Absorbaloff is a monster that could be interesting. Totally horrible. All the
for a Doctor Who episode, it's not really Doctor Who.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
but
is
it
the whole
does
purpose
tell
of
you
that's
everything
the
you
whole
need to
purpose.
know.
It does, and it is about the Doctor affecting these people.
Yeah.
But it's not really something that'd be like, this is a Doctor Who episode. This is the episode. This is an episode with the Doctor. The Doctor is the main character in this episode. Hence why
it's actually more Rose. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Rose.
Well-
You hurt my mom's feelings. I mean, that's
But
what.
like, we also are missing that Fear Her comes immediately after this.
Yeah. We're talking
man,
about worse episodes.
I didn't even think about
Fear Her is off.
Hear her
Again, it's
almost on my list.
I don't. There are some, like, the only reason I put the Twin Dilemma on here is because I recall how bad it is, and I remember very little of the details. Thank God. I know that that Captain Jack's first mate is in the episode. Jericho. Remember his name.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I think Love and Monsters is that. Orphan 55 is on my list.
Okay.
Yep.
It is.
I don't even remember this one.
It is so. It's obnoxious. It's obnoxious. Listen, I'm not like having a story and going ahead and you have a message in it. That's absolutely fine. But when you have to take a segment at the end of the episode where the doctor turns to her companions and says, "This is what happens. This is what destroys the planet. You need to do better." The fuck? Why are you doing this? Why? Why?
It's literally out of left field.
It is horrible. And Timeless Children was going to be on here, but I actually replaced it because the thing is with the Timeless Children, I hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. A new viewer might be interested in that, though. A new viewer with no context for anything else, having this monologue of a distant land, a distant planet where the Time Lords were found, without any of the context, they might think, wow, this is really interesting. I like this. That poor soul.
Basically.
So, with that in mind, I put, and I debated putting this one on, I put Arachnids in the UK. This is one of the worst representations of the Doctor. The Rosa episode almost made it because of something similar. The Doctor in this episode wants all these creatures that are of no fault of their own. They have grown to these exponential sizes. She wants them to suffocate to death.
Very undoctor-like.
While the quote-unquote villain wants to just shoot them.
The non-Trump allegory. Oh no, don't you dare compare me to him. Even though that's exactly what he is. So why do you go through these leaps and bounds? It is so horrible. I hate this episode. I love
the giant spiders. I'm just saying, Pixel, I love them.
There are some people that will like the episode because there are giant spiders in it. I thought about that before I put it on my list, but I think it's not going to be enough to keep you interested. Once those spiders are gone, you only have a couple more episodes with giant spiders. It's
honestly it's a very mid episode.
It's a mid episode with a hero who makes a bad decision and makes the villain right. And that is horrible. And they should feel horrible for allowing that to be on television.
Well, at least it didn't take place on an island. Okay.
That's my list. Chris, what you got?
Okay. So for me, much like last week, I put them into 5 different categories. So my categories for top 5 worst Doctor Who episodes to introduce a new viewer to, we have bordering on mid, so bad it's good, could be worse, high or intoxication required, and legitimately awful. So bordering on mid, I put Power of 3. I think it's such a in the middle episode. I do not know why Jimmy likes this episode. Jimmy really likes Power of 3. He's like, oh, this is the best Chibnall episode. I'm like, it's a nothing burger of a story.
Yeah.
I feel like the 11th Doctor in there where he stays at the Pond's place and he's like, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. I'm the 11th Doctor in that situation watching this episode.
Yeah.
So I feel like sending it to another person, they would feel the same way. So bad it's good. I like this episode, but it's not good. Hence, so bad it's good. Pixel, you're going to hate me. Sleep No More.
Oh, fuck you. How dare you, sir?
Generous to the episode, but
How dare you, sir?
Hey, I like the idea. It's just unfortunate. It's a genre and it's a filming style that was pushed to death.
I will say
at that time, so many people wanted to do the whole found footage horror, but they didn't want to do anything interesting with it. And that's the problem with Sleep No More, is that it's not, aside from the quote unquote twist that it's not actually camera footage. It's just the weird sand creature things are in their eyes and it's recording everything somehow. Other than that, it's not a good episode. I still like it regardless. So, it's so bad it's good.
You're right. if you introduce a new person to this episode, they're going to watch it and be like, "Where is my sequel?" And they won't have it.
Never
So you're
gonna
right.
get
It's
it.
awful for a first-time watcher.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what would happen.
That's
That's
why.
what would- yeah. And then to our third category, could be worse. I put Space Babies. Now, out of all of us, I was more lenient on Space Babies. It's not good. It's not a good intro, but I think it's a very mid episode. But as a introduction to Doctor Who, especially for new viewers, because technically it is the first episode of that series, if you do not count the Christmas episode. The Christmas episode you have to watch because that's Ruby's introduction. But this is the first episode of the series. It is not a good introduction to Doctor Who. It is very incredibly childish. The Uncanny Valley talking babies, I don't know why that had to be a thing. You could have just had that, oh, they're just smart, intelligent babies and they just talk through like a voice recorder or something. You could have them be telepathic, but actually seeing their mouths move and like speaking, it's unsettling. And, you know, the actual bogeyman being made out of boogers, really. And just it's overall like, if this was your introduction to Doctor Who, I don't blame you for being like, this is kind of stupid. I don't know what more.
Yeah.
High or intoxication required. I think this is very obvious. The web planet. I don't know how you could watch this episode sober. It's not good watching it sober. It's a very bad episode. I think if you were like very drunk, the weird buzzing noises of the Zabi, that would be calming.
Oh man, this is what I needed
I don't
all
think you
along.
wasted enough for this.
You'd have to be blackout to enjoy the episode. And then for my last one, legitimately awful. I hate this episode with a passion because it's such a boring episode. The ending of it makes no goddamn sense. I don't know why it exists. In the Forest of the Night.
Yeah, that was a consideration.
I hate this episode. It sucks. It makes no goddamn sense that at the end, the forest, the trees, just give the little girl her sister back. Did they take her because they established she's missing? Did the forest just take her for no reason at all? And they're like, thanks for listening to us, really not so good actress little girl. Here's your sister back as a reward. Like, it comes out of nowhere, and it's not a very interesting episode either. Like, the trees, there's a lot of trees. The trees are everywhere. Oh, the trees are actually protecting us from a solar flare. Don't worry, everything will go back to normal. It's like, I don't care about this episode. Bad. It's very bad. A new person would not like it.
I can't remember anything about it other than the fact the doctor opens the doors and looks out and, oh, it's London in a forest. That's all
That's about all I remember.
I do have to say there was a comment that I wanted to address, but I got sidetracked with having to defend Trial of a Time Lord.
As we all do.
I think the Lazarus Experiment, even though it does have terrible, terrible CGI, I think the story is interesting enough that a new viewer might like it, though.
If they can stomach the CGI, because I like that episode, but the CGI is like, ooh, rough.
You have ancient Mark Gatiss, and then whenever he becomes youthful in the complex relationship he now has with his wife,
feels so trite, so trope. It's done. It's like, I've de-aged myself, but I've unwoken some kind of crazy DNA and I'm now a monster. It feels like I've seen this before so many times.
Yeah, but some people might like that. That's what I'm saying. I think that it's intriguing enough on its own that a new viewer might actually enjoy that they wouldn't look at it and just turn it off immediately.
Yeah, I think if they made it more like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of a thing, just not going full on with the whole, like Scorpion King thing. It was just really unnecessary. So it's like if you remastered Rose, then it would probably be like the ultimate episode to introduce someone to Doctor Who. If you could just get past the classic Mickey bits.
And who wrote that episode? Anybody recall off the top of their head?
No. Well, Lazarus Experiment?
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Because the dialogue between Tin and Martha in that episode, their chemistry in it is fantastic. The awkward position of, oh, well, he's here with me, not as a date, but as her date. It's kind of like, it's something that people do enjoy. It is one of
I really like the conversation between him and Lazarus at the end. Like talking about like no one should live forever. Like by the end of it, you're just alone. Everything dies. You're just by yourself.
Okay, so if you put the special effects to the side, let's just say they were good special effects. Would you introduce someone to this version of who Tin and Martha? Would it be Lazarus Experiment or Smith and Jones?
Smith and Jones.
I'd say Smith and Jones.
I mean, Smith and Jones
again,
is literally
the problem is with like the family stuff. You also kind of need some of the context as well, of like Martha like kind of like disappearing now and again, because you get the family introduction in Smith and Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You get that dynamic of what the family is like.
I have an idea. Next week we'll just review the Lazarus Experiment, and then we can figure out how we feel about the episode.
Sounds good.
I'm good with that.
Yep.
Cool. So the writer for it is Stephen Greenhorn. He also wrote The Doctor's Daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
That's it. He only wrote those 2 episodes.
Okay.
Well, what? Let's do this. Let's review that.
All right. So next week will be the Lazarus Experiment. Exciting. Fun. That's our show today. We had no news. You heard our list of what we think is the worst episode for a first-time watcher. Leave your list down below. And if you don't, well, that's okay. We'll accept it. We'll just be disappointed. If you want to live with our disappointment, that's okay. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week on Madmen with the Box. Live! Bye!
Hey.
Alonze!